My server is filled with both underage. So the allegation that's going around right now is that
I did not even know this was a woman, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Where you at, Berto?
TikTok's new cringiest predator, Phibz.
The new cringiest TikToker is facing serious allegations. I'm sure you've all seen this individual before who goes by Phibz. They're an up-and-coming cringe talker with over 45,000 followers. Her whole content style, or whatever you—
Yo, this shit's nightmare fuel. What is this? What are we watching right now? What have I brought to y'all today? Hold on, man.
want to call it, is literally just her acting like she's in an edit. Just look up on screen and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, this is a grown adult woman. So as you can imagine, these kinds of videos are what blew her up on TikTok and attracted a lot of attention towards her. At some point, I assume it was early on into her career, she would open up a public Discord server. This server is where a lot of bad things would—
I did not even know this was a woman, I'm not gonna lie to you.
allegedly occur. A few weeks ago, multiple accounts would pop up accusing Phibz of a lot of heinous things. These accusations include, but aren't limited to, predator allegations, CSAM, and some really disturbing conversations where Phibz was apparently and seemingly encouraging other server members to get their significant others to carve names. It's something awful and very grotesque and degenerate. Starting off with the predator allegations, these are backed by a single screenshot that's been making its rounds on TikTok lately. It appears to be Phibz having a conversation with an alleged minor where she asks them out. What a lot of people fail to realize, or are intentionally using it misleadingly, is that this was taken, or at least the messages were sent, almost 2 years ago. Given that Phibz is 19 now, she very well could have been 17 when these messages were exchanged. And yes, even still, a 17-year-old being with someone 3 years below that is very—
I don't care what y'all say. It's weird as fuck, bro. Like, at 17, I'm not looking at, what, 17, 16, 15, 14. Yeah, bro, that's a weird ratio. That's a very odd ratio. Very uncomfortable ratio. At 17, I'm not thinking that's cool.
Very weird, in my opinion. Extremely weird, actually.
Yo, this person's making me uncomfortable. It's like I don't even want to look at the screen.
But it's a lot different than what people are making it out to be. Secondly, this is the only screenshot from this time period that we see. The next oldest screenshot or video was in 2025. So given that, and as well as the quality of these screenshots, I would personally not take it into—
Yo, this pissing me off. Why are people watching this? Why are people watching this? All right, man.
To account when deciding on whether this person is a predator or not. It is just way too unsubstantiated in my opinion, and you really can't be too careful when talking about these kinds of things. There's another piece of proof that is used alongside that screenshot quite often. It is an alleged voice recording of Phibz saying something very gross.
Stuff like, I don't know why people think it's so weird.
The reason what you heard sounded so weird was because I had to very highly edit it so that it's actually listenable. I, of course, raised the decibels, I enhanced the voice, normalized loudness, and slowed it down because it was very sped up and very quiet in the original video. And I could not, for the life of me, find any non-edited or modified version of it, so that's what we have to work with. But about the actual video itself, it is very weird. Basically, Phibz is saying that she's into the R word and doesn't see why people think it's weird. You know, I'll come out and say this, and I don't care if I get hate because I've gotten hate for it before, but still, I don't—
You got hate for the opinion that you have? Wait, let's just hear it, because anyone that's giving you hate for what you just said is out of their top. No, grape that is egregious. What are we talking about?
Care. If you're into that kind of stuff, you are weird. And
no, you're not only are you weird, you're psychopathic and you need help. Something is wrong with you. If you're into grape, like, just watch out. Go check yourself in. We don't want to be walking around, you know, with you, you know what I'm saying, just passively being able to roam free. You are not of the right mind. You are tripping.
And yes, technically, what two consenting adults do behind closed doors isn't my business at all.
If you enjoy gaming content, horror games, puzzle games, and honestly, even if you don't like games, you just want to see me shit my pants, head over to my gaming channel, Berto Gaming. I ain't gonna lie, I've been having the most fun I've had in a long time creating content while playing these games. Me and my team have been going crazy, putting a lot of creative energy into these edits for the game. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, link to that will be in the description. That's Berto Gaming. Where you at, family? I love y'all so much. Now let's get back to the video. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. That's not what grape is. Two consenting adults is two consenting adults. That's not what that is. It's literally not what graping is.
And I definitely agree for the most part, but the conversation changes quite a bit when these kinds of people are involved. Let's say that no minors were involved and everyone is consenting. That's still a very degenerate thing to be into. Countless women, and men as well, have been traumatized for life because of those things. And you're going around parading that you're into it and that you don't see why it's weird. That is extremely insensitive and gross. Now, she said that it's something she's ashamed of and is working on coping mechanisms or whatever. I wouldn't really be judgmental since there's nothing to make fun of when it's a person trying to genuinely improve, but this is a different story. And the way she's going about this, talking about these things in her private Discord server instead of in public, is very telling. Like, you cannot genuinely look me in the eyes and say wholeheartedly with full belief that you don't know why people think it's weird to be into that unconsensual stuff and the R word and things like that. Maybe I'm making too big a deal out of this, I don't know, but I really just want y'all to know my position on this. I don't care if you like pain or anything like that. Like, if you're into that, that's none of my business or concern. But when you start romanticizing real life issues like Phibz is, then it becomes a problem in my opinion. You guys are...
I'm like, it's like I don't want to say too much because I'm really trying to work on, you know, not being as judgmental and cursing and just, you know, just overall trying to be more positive, better person, bro. But like, I just can't help but feel like something's got to be, like, just off these videos alone. I'm just watching this B-roll and this person just looks deranged. I can't accept it. Bro, I hope I'm not tripping, bro. Like, sometimes I really, like, I really try to just be like a good person. I be thinking to myself, like, I hope that I'm not ever in this to offend anybody or bully anybody. Like, I genuinely be just trying to think from like a very logical place. And I'm just like, I'm hearing all these things and these are terrible things. And that's one side of the conversation. But then I'm also just sitting here watching this B-roll and I'm thinking to myself, like, something's wrong with this person. There has to be. There has to be. Like, what is this? And why are people watching this? This alone, out of a lot, there's a lot of bullshit that is on the internet. But watching this alone makes me like, there's no way my kid could ever just be scrolling on TikTok. And I ain't got no kid, but like, there will be a day, right? There's no way I could just be letting them just scroll on TikTok. Like, no, they frontal lobe needs to be fully developed, and they have proven that they are responsible, you know, adults or young adults that can handle and discern what is bullshit and fuckery. Because this is crazy. The fact that there's even a chance that this nonsense can be popping up on your kid's screen, that just it baffles me, bro. Dumbfounded right now.
You're about to see what I'm talking about as well, because we're gonna get into those screenshots of the conversations Phibz was having in her.
And I want y'all to hold me accountable. Like, I'm not one that's above being held accountable. Am I tripping? Am I tripping?
Server. Firstly, she says, "Ha, I want to blink my wrist so bad," which is just yikes. The second screenshot seems to be someone sending proof of Phibz saying something very, very gross in the server. The confessions channel what it looks like. One of these confessions said that a person was feeling a little promiscuous. Someone replied, real, and Phibz says, I'm not even going to anon this confession. I'm going to tickle my blank to Francie. And this Francie, who appears to be the individual who sent the screenshots, is allegedly a minor. There was also another variation of that message in this next screenshot, which helps its validity. Then, my lord, the next two screenshots says, who wants their initial on my body?
Like some bro, I'm sorry, y'all. I know some of y'all are like, Berto, what are you watching right now? Why are you bringing this to us? But like sometimes this shit really be for awareness, bro. Like because it's opening my eyes. Like we already know that we need to be very careful about what our siblings and our kids and our family members, our younger people are consuming. But like this is why I do watch some of these videos, because like, bro, I have a Discord server. I'm a creator. That's what content creators do. Like they have Discord servers. They keep it to broaden their community and a place for people to, come together and, rally behind, the creators that they enjoy watching and whatnot. And we live in a content era. So it's only safe to assume that, your kids, your siblings, your cousin, your little cousins, whatever, they're probably fans of their favorite creator. And the fact that this is somebody's favorite creator really is concerning. It's very scary, bro. We need to be tapped into what the fuck is going on, bro, because this cannot slide. This is degenerate on a different level. It's crazy. This is what's influencing the youth.
Which, yikes. And the one after that says, I want to blank into someone, then oh my god, I can't even read that. Up on screen now is more screenshots. Well, technically it's a screen recording of the messages, and they are certainly something. Phibz, once again, is putting her awful, allegedly by the way, awful interests out on display for literally everyone, and it's extremely gross and concerning. The next two screenshots we have are from a pretty long conversation in what appears to be a moderation ticket section of the server. Phibz says, why did you continue to harass Zane after he was kicked? I have screenshots that you are in his server. This person replies, what they did was extremely wrong and unforgivable. They also continued to harass both me and my friends. I did join the server, but I don't recall harassing him or even talking to him directly. She then apologizes, and Phibz says, do you mean the gotcha stuff or supporting CSAM? Cause either of those two were in the past, and we do not judge people for stuff people did in the past. People can change and people can grow.
Yeah, but depending on what you did in the past, like that shit sticks with you forever, man. I'm all for people, becoming better and holding themselves accountable regardless of the heinous things that you've done. But some shit is just so heinous. It's like, no, bro, that's a stain that you can't wash off. It's stained. It's on you. You're a certified weirdo, certified P. Like, can't wash that off. You might be moving for the better now. You might, like I said, you might have checked yourself in and you getting help and you not walking amongst us common folk that ain't into that stuff. Cool, shout out to you, but you don't just get to wash that stain off though.
Yikes, just yikes. And if you don't believe me, here's another screenshot up on screen here that shows the same thing with I guess at a later date with a different profile picture and whatnot, which helps the validity of it as before. Just like, what, bro? What is the thought process behind that? I'm sure your guys' jaws dropped when you heard what I read out. Mine did too when I first read it. Not only forgiving someone who did such an awful thing, but it's like keeping them in your Discord server. Like, do you guys see the issue here? It's not just, I'm not saying she's into that stuff, but someone who is apparently one of her best friends, and she's keeping them in the server because it was in the past. Just yikes, dude. It's, my goodness. And if you guys thought that was bad, let me show you the response video, which is worse by like 1,000%.
Hi, so I hope this will be the last time I address allegation drama. The only reason why I'm addressing it is because it's kind of very serious. So the allegation that's going around right now is that I love. I'm not explaining what that is. If you want to know what that is, go look it up. Or don't, because I don't want you to see something you might regret seeing. So, newsflash, I don't support that. I was defending the person that got allegations towards liking. So, I'm about to provide screenshots of Zane's situation. And here we go. So, here's the Naruto was also an enjoyer. I was also
What?
and I enjoyed in a harmful or bad way.
Sorry for interjecting, but what? A minor cannot enjoy that kind of content in a bad way? What is that supposed to mean? I sincerely hope she is like, well, as you could tell, she isn't all there mentally, but maybe I'm hoping this was like a byproduct of that and she genuinely didn't mean what she
Yeah, just like misspoke or something.
said. Because if she did, my goodness.
Also, I didn't know their age at the time. I didn't watch the anime in years, and I didn't know their age, and nor do I remember their ages were even ever being mentioned. Why are you acting as if I'm made to look like as if it was the art? I don't believe you can get blamed for something you didn't know, like legitimately.
Yeah, you can. Just because you didn't know something and you did the wrong thing doesn't mean that you're not guilty of. It's just, you know, again, it's just, there's levels to it. There's levels to it. Like if you hurt somebody out of ignorance, you're not held to the same offense of hurting somebody intentionally, but you hurt somebody nonetheless.
So yeah, I was defending Zane because they didn't know at the time, and they don't support that kind of thing now.
Now. So, but they did. And what makes you so sure that they don't now?
Okay? So, no, I don't support. I, however, do support people that get, like, blamed for stuff they didn't know, though. Sorry if I didn't explain this well, I'm limited on time. Goodbye.
So she confirms that the screenshots are real here and defends them in the worst. She doesn't even defend them. She just said that they didn't know and that they don't do that kind of stuff anymore, which is just, my goodness. Taking someone like that and letting them be an active part of your community with minors in it is just next level dangerous, next level reckless, and next level stupid. You know, just as the cherry on the cake, I'm gonna play you guys a clip where Phibz admits to having minors in her server.
First thing, you're one to really talk. My server is filled with both underage and adult people, right?
So, Phibz is admitting that her server has minors. It's filled with both minors and adults, whatever. That is unbelievably concerning, especially when you factor in those earlier screenshots and screen recordings of the off.
Yeah, it's like if you're going to do that, you need to make sure your moderation is overly on point. And like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to say too much on that. I'm just going to hope that this is not the case. You know, again, a lot of this is alleged, but you know, I've also said what I said throughout this video, bro. We just seen a bunch of bullshit. It seems like she is defending some of this bullshit. She doesn't seem all the way there in the head. And it just goes back to like, y'all, I really challenge you guys as the adults that are, you know, I know not everybody watching is an adult, but if you are an adult or just an older or, you know, a role model, older brother or older sister, whatever you are, a mother, you know, older cousin, you know, and you got siblings, anything, like, y'all tap in, man, because this this is what's popping up on somebody's screen, bro. And it could be they in their Discord server getting influence and talking to a bunch of people, strangers, and it could be bad, bro. And the leader of the server don't give no fucks.
Awful stuff she was saying there, encouraging others to carve their significant others, like awful things, and keeping this Zane person in your server who possessed or was into CSAM is not just reckless and dumb, it's genuinely disgusting and borderline criminal. And she did it willingly and knowledgeably. So make from that distinction what you will. Personally, I think she is very dangerous. I think she's a predator as well. And I think she should be off the internet. Her account is privated now, thankfully, and hopefully it stays that way.
Thankfully, no, they need to get that thing up out of there. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Again, apologize if it was a little bit of an uncomfortable joint, but sometimes I like to, you know, when I see them, it's like, nah, we need to talk about these things. We can't just ignore them and act like they don't exist, bro. You know, that the awareness shit do be mattering. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Where you at, family? I'll see you on the next one.
Where you at, Berto?